We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live. Boxing Ego unpack. Yeah. We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live.
It is time to get unpacked. Lamont Roach, heavier than Isaac Pitbull Cruz. He also says that his career is not going to be based on using Gervonta Tank Davis's name while using Gervonta Tank Davis's name. In this video, that's what I want to talk about. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I am back with some more boxing. Well. Now, a fight I told you I am looking forward to is Isaac Pitbull Cruz versus Lamont Roach. Fight is coming up quick. Hopefully everybody enjoyed Thanksgiving, and we're pretty close to the fight. I want to give you guys an update on the weight. Lamont Roach is, in fact, heavier than Pitbull Cruz. Boom. You never know. Right here, you see it. Lamont Roach heavier than Isaac Pitbull Cruz for the WBC 14-day weight check. So as you guys know, WBC, they want to make sure you're attempting to make the weight to fight for their belt. So they do like a 30-day check, a 14-day check, a 7-day check. At the 2-week 14-day check, Lamont Roach outweighs Pitbull Cruz. Hold that thought. WBC officials reported that both boxers met the 14-day pre-weight weigh-in requirement, though the math ain't mathin' for Roach. The checkpoint weight 2 weeks out is meant to be no more than 5% above the contracted limit. In this case, both boxers should be 147 pounds or less. Roach's weight is 1.2 pounds above that mark, though there has never been a real penalty for being over the limit at this stage. Rather, it's used as information to determine if participants are safely shredding weight ahead of the final pre-fight weigh-in. So the rules call for no more than 5%, and that would be 147 pounds. Lamont Roach is heavier than that by 1.2 pounds. The next check will come in this week. I've already went over that 7-day check. Cruz and Roach are to weigh in no more than 3% of the contracted weight. The fight's taking place at 140, which will be rounded up to 145. So the 7-day check, they should be within this threshold. Both are, of course, required to weigh 140 or less for the actual fight in San Antonio, right? So very interesting. Roach came in at 148.2 pounds, almost 150 pounds, 14 days ahead of the fight with Pitbull, while Pitbull came in at 145. So Pitbull is the smaller man. Pitbull is within the 7-day 3% threshold, whereas Lamont Roach is really exceeding it. But I don't think the fight will be in jeopardy because, as this article depicts, I don't know if the WBC, if you're close to it, because this is their rules, but I don't think they penalize you and prevent the fight unless on the Friday before your fight on Saturday, you miss that weigh-in. So this is kind of like, I want to say, a loose guideline to make sure you're taking it serious and you're not 180 pounds 2 weeks before the contest or anything that is alarming that they should be aware of. So I think the fight should go on. Both fighters need to make 140 on Friday, the day before the fight. Now, is this shocking to Boxing Ego? Absolutely not, because I am the best in the business, and it's not even close. I've been telling you, you listen to what I say, and over time, it ages like a fine wine. And that's the way it's got to be. Now, in all fairness, there's a lot of people that emulate Boxing Ego. They want to be like Ego. I get it. Channel, we popping, we do good, been here for a while. But the difference is when I tell you, I told you so, I really told you so. There's a lot of people I notice, they'll try to copy that and have the, the aura and be like, I told you guys, but they didn't really tell you nothing. Me, I'm telling you, I told you, and I'm telling you to go back and watch the videos. I have videos titled about Lamont Roach being bigger than Gervonta Davis. Literally, that was the whole purpose of making the video, where I declared this stuff. Reason being, Gervonta Davis has a lot of haters. So haters, they do a lot of jaw jacking. So the haters were like, oh, Tank is fighting a guy, pulling him up from 130 pounds. And they were trying to make Tank look bad before the fight happened. They're trying to make it look like Tank was this colossal guy and that Lamont Roach was a tiny guy, right? And Tank was just forcing him out of his comfort zone to fight against the Goliath Tank Davis, right? Laughable. In fact, outside of Pitbull Cruz, I cannot think of any recent opponents that Tank was bigger than. The only one that comes to mind is the guy Lamont Roach is about to fight. He was the shorter person, and Tank was actually taller than him. Everybody else, Ryan Garcia especially, but Frank Martin, Lamont Roach, Rolly, definitely Mario Barrios, all of these guys were physically bigger, like mass, height, bigger than him. Even Ryan at the catch weight. That's another thing. People be like, oh, but Tank had him at a catch weight. Ryan was eating tacos in the buildup, and he was bragging about it. So you can't go crying after you ate tacos on camera talking about I was weight drained. Why were you eating pastor tacos if you were weight drained? It's just, come on now. But again, I repeat, in an effort to try to make Tank look like a weight bully, right? You had people who were really pushing this notion that because Roach fought at 130 and was a champion at 130, that he was this small guy. So first they said he was a cherry pick, right? And I was like, no, he could really fight. Y'all didn't want to believe little old Ego. I said he's a good fighter with skills. It's not a cherry pick. He's a champion and he's moving up. Then they threw out, oh, but he's a 130-pounder. Tank is a weight bully. And I rebutted that. Again, a lot of people, they claim it. I show you receipts. You guys, I'm telling you, go look at the videos. I have videos about this very subject. If you remember me saying this stuff, just type I remember in the comment section. So to my day ones and Ego's Army, if you remember me saying that Lamont Roach was bigger, I'm talking before he fought Tank when people were hating, right? I said he was bigger than Tank because people were pushing this fake narrative that Tank is looking for this massive advantage and yada, yada, yada. It all sounded stupid, right? Now, fast forward to the future, we have every bit of proof that what Boxing Ego said was legit and accurate, because at the 14-day weigh-in, Lamont Roach is outweighing the guy who was a champion at 140 pounds, Isaac Pitbull Cruz. So you have a guy in Pitbull who fought Rolly, right? Who fought El Rayo, Jose Valenzuela at 140 pounds, was a champion at 140 pounds. Rolly beat Barroso to become a champion, and then Pitbull stopped Rolly, right? Two guys that Tank beat, right? And now at the WBC 14-day check, Lamont Roach is outweighing. He's the guy that came from 130, and he's outweighing the champion at 140 pounds. Another thing that I said, and if you remember, just type "I remember" in the comments section. I've been stressing this heavy because these new Gen Z fighters are abusing it. And I told you there's a lot of weight bullying going on in the sport of boxing where these guys, they're campaigning at this division, but they really should probably be at this division. But they're making the disciplined sacrifice to squeeze down and crunch down into lighter weight classes for an advantage. I've told you that. Devin Haney, Jerron Boots Ennis, David Benavidez was, but he just moved up to 75. Now he's moving to cruiserweight, so he's moving up. So I can't say nothing about Benavidez right now. But right now, Boots, Keyshawn, Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney, Lamont Roach, it's definitely applicable to these fighters, right? Where, what's the name? Cool Boy Fulton, he's another person. Like, it's just a lot of people, their walk-around weights are up there. And then they keep cutting down to these low weight classes. And then you got people who want to hate, like on Tank. They're like, oh, Tank's fighting a smaller person. Look at this picture of Lamont Roach, who just outweighed. I just went over how he outweighed Pitbull Cruz. Look at it. Like, does he look tiny to you? Y'all let me know. Does he look smaller? Does he look like a 130-pounder? Does he look smaller than Tank? Inquiring minds would like to know, because I think not. And now we're getting proof of that. To add a nail in the coffin, NBA Jam style, Lamont Roach, he was doing an interview with PBC talking about his favorite cheat meals and stuff.
Damn. Everything. My favorite cheat meal. What's my guilty pleasure? I'm a foodie, bro. I eat a lot of food. I don't have a favorite right now. Maybe chicken wings, Wingstop, Louisiana rub, 10-piece, fries, and a drink. Extra ranch.
I don't know.
Extra ranch.
The man said, I'm a foodie. Give me that 10-piece. He sounded like Rick Ross. Wingstop, fat boy need a 10-piece. Huh? Huh? Bro, he sounded like Ross. Driving through the city, feel the breeze in my beer. Huh? Huh? Bro, the man said, give me a 10-piece Louisiana rub. He tried to play like he didn't know the answer, and then he said, give me that Wingstop. First of all, Wingstop is trash. It used to be all right, but Wingstop kind of fell off. See, that's what I'm saying. I know some of y'all don't really, you don't have the proper palate. Your boy Ego, I be eating good. I be finding little spots out here and stuff. I can think of a couple spots, way better wings than Wingstop and Buffalo Wild Wings, but you do you. Go off. But anyway, the man's talking about his cheat meal, and he said, I'm a foodie. I like to eat. I like pig feet. Every time in the kitchen, you in the kitchen eating up all the food. I like hog maw. I like pig's feet. Bro, he sounded like bang, bang, bang. So once again, your boy Ego, in the information that I deliver, chef's kiss. Lamont Roach is not this tiny dude that y'all was out here making him out to be, right? He talking about he a foodie and he love to eat. And like these pictures I'm looking at Lamont Roach, I told you, the ego eye test, the ego Weight Watchers is next level. I'm looking at a fighter and I can have a good idea from the eye test. I've been doing this so long, I have a pretty good idea. This man is not no tiny 130 pounder. He's fighting at 140 and he's weighing almost 150 14 days out. So peep this. If he's weighing almost 150 pounds 2 weeks before his fight where he got to make 140, then you know he's been training for Pitbull Cruz. What was he weighing 2 months out? That boy was at Wingstop. Right? What was he weighing then? Inquiring minds want to know. So, yeah, the Tank haters, y'all look dumb time and time again because the information that they're putting out is pure propaganda and it's meant to like try to hurt the integrity of Tank or whatever. And then when I do a video correcting bad information, they say, oh man, you love Tank. You're in love with Tank. Or you're just putting out lies. I told you, Lamont Roach ain't no little dude, bro. I'm still looking forward to his fight. It is what it is. He needs to make weight. But I've been validated and vindicated, per usual.
Because I'm going to tell you right now, if the Shakur fight is unavailable,
Right.
if it's unavailable for us to do after he fights Tio, we pressing the issue on the WBC mandating that me and the champion fight for sure.
Okay.
Are you looking to circle back and fight Tank? If that's something that's on your radar, are you moving ahead?
Nah, I've been moved past that. Who knows what he's doing with his career, what he got going on, and but my career is never going to be based on one fighter. Never.
Right.
I got bigger and better things to do.
Yeah, most definitely. Most definitely.
You know, there was a lot made about the Eubanks being the rehydration clause. Do you have a rehydration clause in your in this contract?
Hell nah. Boxing is boxing. People been losing weight for forever. What you need a rehydration clause for? If you can make the weight, you can make the weight.
Oh, hey,
But
hold
if you're
on.
gonna be
Hold
making
on.
the weight-
Hey, hold on. Since
Go
you
ahead.
don't have no rehydration clause, then so how about this? After you beat Pitbull Cruz, right? How about I give you a tune-up fight before your next one? Before your mandate?
I like
give you a
that.
tune-up.
I like that. As long as you can put them butts in the seats, we gonna do
Listen,
it.
I can feel a
Oh, you gonna
stadium.
he gonna put the bus in the seat.
Hey, I can fill a
more.
stadium quick, boy.
Hey, Ocho.
He got 22 kids. He got 22 kids, Lamont. So we got 22 paying customers.
Hey, boy. Hey, these hands different, boy. You hear me? My shit registered.
Boom. Once again, I keep delivering the highest level of content in boxing. The man said, heck nah to a rehydration clause. See, a lot of people, again, they talk about it. I'll be about it. I'll let you listen to it. I'll show you. And then we revisit what was discussed. So the man was like, no to no rehydration clause in the Pitbull Cruz fight. We ain't doing that. If we can make weight, we can make weight. Da-da-da-da. You know why? Because a person like him, you know the people who are most anti-rehydration clauses are the people who abuse and tip the scales in all types of directions, right? Like for me, I don't drink, I don't smoke cigarettes, I don't vape, I don't do hookah. I've never done hookah, never smoked a cigarette in my life, never done no drugs, right? So you can ban vaping, you can ban hookah, you can ban drugs. My life don't change at all. I'm good, ban all of it. So you see how that works. The person who is not living that lifestyle don't really care, right? Every time I get behind the wheel, I put my seatbelt on. Some of y'all riding dangerous by not putting your seatbelt on. Ever since I was a kid, my parents always told me, put your seatbelt on. And I know people who've been in bad car accidents, yada, yada, yada. So always buckle up, always, right? If California, where I live, they say, oh, if you don't have your seatbelt, it's a $10,000 fine. It's never going to happen to me. I don't care. Make it a $10,000 fine because I always have my seatbelt when my car is in motion. You see what I'm saying? But the people who don't buckle up, man, I don't want to get no wrinkles on my shirt. Man, I'm about to meet with this BZ. I don't want no wrinkles on my shirt. And the people who too cool for school that are ignorantly not wearing a seatbelt, those are the people who are going to have a problem with that. You see how that works? So rehydration clauses make sense in certain scenarios in boxing, right? They just do. Sometimes catch weights. You shouldn't abuse it, but at the same time, there are instances where it makes sense. And that's the reality of it. But again, you notice the people who are super anti, like Ryan, Lamont Roach right here in the clip I let you listen to, they don't want no parts of it. You know why? Because they can't abide by that. You know what I mean? Tank is actually fighting people, and he's small, like naturally small. These other dudes, like Devin Haney and all these other dudes, they be like big. I wouldn't be surprised if Devin Haney, when he fought Brian Norman, outweighed Brian Norman. I wouldn't be surprised at all. They didn't have, it's in Saudi, so I don't think they did the unofficial weights, you know, the day of weights, but they should start bringing that type of stuff back so the world gets to see. But that's the other thing that I told you that I was dead right about when it comes to this boxing game. You know, a lot of like deception when it comes to weights. So I'm going to continue doing a bang up job. I am looking forward to Lamont Roach's fight. You know, it's nothing personal. He was eating the Wingstop. What can I say? So as long as he makes the weight, I don't really care. These are just points that I have to rehash because this is what I've been telling you guys on the channel. While you guys, a lot of the Tank haters and the Haniacs and the Haniac content creators that conveniently hate Tank, they were putting out content, posts, saying that Lamont Roach was this little dude and Tank was moving him up. But if he was such a little dude, why he not fighting back at 130? Why he talking about Wingstop? Why is he outweighing the guy who's fought multiple times at 140 pounds, Pitbull Cruz? Why is this next fight at 140 pounds? And he looked great. He looked like he's in great shape. So he really not a 130 pounder. He was just crunching down to that number. And I know a lot of fighters personally. It's a business. These guys most of them are consummate professionals. You tell them a number and then they get down to it. But a lot of guys are like, their walk around weight to what they're campaigning at is very, very different. And I've been telling y'all that. So again, if you remember, type I remember. For more boxing news, detailed videos like this, where I really get unpacked and expose the game and give you guys tricks of the trade, all you got to do is subscribe. We unpacked. Live streaming can be tough, which is why I use StreamYard. Click the link in the description for StreamYard, which is an awesome tool that enables you to set up your stream with ease of use. Get great results with live streaming. It's what I use. Stream to social media with ease with StreamYard. Live streaming is here to stay. Engage with your audience using StreamYard. Great way to reach out to your audience and connect. So you need a tool that can do that. If you're new to YouTube and you're struggling to get views, one tool I can provide to you is TubeBuddy. I've been on YouTube over 10 years. I use TubeBuddy daily to crank out videos just like this one that you're watching. Learn how the pros do it with TubeBuddy. YouTube receives a lot of traffic, which also means a lot of creators, a lot of people putting out content. So you need to learn the ropes so you know how to separate yourself, especially if you're new, but even if you're a pro, use TubeBuddy. The link is in the description. Get more views, more subscribers, and a higher click-through rate, so ultimately you can realize all of your online goals. Use my affiliate link in the description and grow your channel fast.